Hi there, in today's video I'll be talking about Pythagoras theorem. It's also called Pythagorean theorem. This theorem is only applicable to the right angle triangles, the triangles in which one of the angles is 90 degrees. Have a look at the triangle here. This triangle is a right angle triangle because you can see one of the angles is 90 degrees. The sides are A, B and C. You can see C is the longest side of the triangle. So this is called hypotenuse. We define hypotenuse as the longest side of the right angle triangle. Now according to Pythagoras theorem, we have the square of hypotenuse is always equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. It applies to only right angle triangles. So mathematically we can write c square equal to a square plus b square. Have a look at this triangle shown here with three sides A, B and C. Can we apply Pythagoras theorem to this triangle? What do you think? As we discussed earlier, Pythagoras theorem is only applicable to the right angle triangles. And do you think this is a right angle triangle? No. The Pythagoras theorem cannot be applied here because it is not a right angle triangle. You can see here none of the angles is 90 degrees. So we cannot use Pythagoras theorem here. Have a look at the first example. Here we are given a right angle triangle. The two sides are given to us. We need to find the length of the hypotenuse. So C being the longest side, that is the hypotenuse. So let's apply Pythagoras theorem. We put c square equal to a square plus b square. We substitute the values of a and b and we get c square as 25. And c would be square root of 25, that gives us 5. So this is how we apply Pythagoras theorem to the question. In the next example, we have to find the length of b here, which is one of the sides. So here b is not the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 10. How do we define hypotenuse? We say the longest side of the triangle, right angle triangle, is the hypotenuse. So we apply Pythagoras theorem. So here, because C is the longest side, so we put 10 square equal to 6 square plus b square. When we solve for b, we get b square equal to 64. That gives us b equal to 8. Simple. So here the highlight is we need to write the expression correctly. 10 being the longest side, we write the expression as 10 square equal to 6 square plus b square and then solve for b. In the next example, we need to find the height of the tree. Figure is shown here. You can see we need to find h in the diagram and 13 is the hypotenuse and 5 meter is the base. So have a look here. We apply Pythagoras theorem. C square equal to a square plus b square. 13 being the longest side, we write the expression as 13 square equal to 5 square plus h square. Then we simplify and we solve for h square. When we simplify, we get h square to be 144. And then square root of 144 would give us the value of h. So h is 12 meters. That's the height of the tree. Have a look at the next example where we need to find the length of the longest side in the figure shown. So the longest side, as you know, is the hypotenuse. So we use Pythagoras formula, c square equal to a square plus b square, because c is the longest side. So we'll be writing it as c square equal to 20 square plus 21 square. When we simplify further, we get c square equal to 841 and that gives us c to be the square root of 841, which is 29. So c is 29. In our next example, we need to find the length of the diagonal in the rectangle shown. Have a look at this rectangle. We need to understand that in a rectangle, all the interior angles are right angles. So we apply Pythagoras theorem here because we are sure now the rectangle is being divided into two right angle triangles. So here we put the values. So we say c square equal to a square plus b square, which is 5 square plus 12 square, and then when we simplify for c square we get 169. So C would be the square root of 169, which is C equal to 30. In the next example, we need to check if 4, 5 and 7 could represent the sides of a right angle triangle. So here we apply Pythagoras theorem. If it works, that means the sides are of right angle triangle. If it doesn't work, that means these three sides are not the sides of a right angle triangle. Now, because hypotenuse is the longest side, we can put 7 on one side and the other two sides are put on the other side. So we put 7 square on one side and 4 square plus 5 square on the other side. We need to check when we solve whether the two sides are equal or not. So when we solve and simplify, we get 49 on one side and 41 on the other side. So they are not equal. So since the two sides are not equal, that means 4, 5 and 7 cannot represent the sides of a right angle triangle. Let's now have a look at the review. First point is Pythagoras theorem is only applicable to the right angle triangles where one of the angles is 90 degree. Secondly, hypotenuse is the longest side of the right angle triangle. We should be clear about it. And thirdly, if the sides of a triangle satisfy the equation of Pythagoras theorem, that shows the triangle is a right angle triangle. So the converse is also true. I hope by now the fundamentals of Pythagoras theorem are clear to you. You should be able to apply it successfully in all the questions. And if you still have some questions, you can always write in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you. Have a good day.